As we prepare to celebrate Christmas around the country, gathered around our tables may be family members from many different generations. And as we reflect on global events and those from Australia in 2019, we remember so many have been impacted by natural disasters, floods and earthquakes, acts of terrorism, and closer to home, drought and fire. Events that would normally have been dismissed as fake news by some in 2018 have almost become an unbelievable reality now. From leaders on the world stage to countries on the brink of economic collapse, it would be so very easy to say that we're living in a world gone mad. But before we dismay, take a look around at the next generations. This year, I found great inspiration and hope in the voices and actions of our children and young people. And at Christmas, we find a child born in a manger who is hope of all the world. It's not surprising that we find inspiration when we look at children. This last year, I met a man outside our Wesley Edward Eager Centre that provides crisis accommodation. And he shared with me that he'd been sleeping rough on the streets of Sydney for some time. And that could happen to any one of us in all our cities around Australia and in regional Australia. Struggling with addiction, he turned to Wesley Mission for help. His one hope, at what he described his lowest point, was the possibility of being reunited with his young daughter. The love he had for his child was so strong a motivation to move towards a different future. And this Christmas, they will be together. And we see many other examples at Wesley Mission of parents and carers motivated by love, who give themselves enormously to other people and to those they care about, with caring for children with disability, opening up their homes to children in foster care. Parents who pursue vocational education, who seek specialist treatment for poor mental health, who flee family violence and receive financial counselling because they know their children's futures are in their hands. When we see Christmas through the eyes of a child, we realise that there is so much more fun to be had from life than just in a box, a shiny new toy, and all the things that come with it. And as we look at children this Christmas, may we catch a glimpse of how God the Father feels towards us, sending his Son, Jesus Christ, into the world, that we might see God himself and know the depth of his love for each of us. John's Gospel describes the astounding occurrence and the humble nature of Jesus' birth. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. And so Christmas invites us to examine the source of our inspiration, to receive the child who would change the course of our lives and the entire world. For that is the nature of what happened more than 2,000 years ago, and what happens whenever we embrace the powerful message and mission of Christ's humble birth and glorious life. It can be easy for older generations to dismiss younger ones for their idealism. But can I challenge you to take seriously the message we receive from children and young people at Christmas? When children's voices are heard, both at our tables and on our global stage, we find hope for our world gone mad. Will you take hold of these words written about Jesus as they appear in John's Gospel? Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God.